Good morning. The Committee on Parole is called to order. The time is 8:22. Today's date is June the 14th of 2023. Panel members today are Mr. Alvin Roche, Mr. Pete Freeman. My name is Tony Marabella. I'll be chair. Support staff located here at DOC headquarters in Baton Rouge or
Carl Williams.
Sergeant Foote. 1 second, sir. They got a block on the screen. Sergeant Foote. Foote. Brandon. They got something blocked on the screen. They're trying to talk. 1 second. I notified.
I don't understand. Mr. Fonseca, can you see us?
Yes, sir. I can see y'all now. It had froze for a second.
All right. Would the staff at Lafourche Parish please introduce themselves?
Deputy John Foote.
Thank you, Deputy.
F-O-O-T-E.
Mr. Fonseca, this is a probation revocation hearing. Would you please introduce yourself and give us your DOC number?
Yes, sir. My name is Danny Paul Fonseca, and my DOC number is 446394.
Mr. Fonseca, let me explain our process to you. I'm going to cover your parole revocation questionnaire. I'm going to read to you the allegations of how you are alleged to have violated your parole. I'll ask you to plead either guilty, not guilty, guilty with a statement, or not guilty with a statement. Then we'll have a full discussion about your allegations. You do have two people here today speaking on your behalf, your wife, Heidi, and your mother, Linda DeFreen. Do you understand our process?
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you have before you your revocation questionnaire?
I have.
No, that's not it. That's the allegations against you. There's a questionnaire. Well, maybe that is it. I don't know. Mine doesn't have a seal on top of it. Is that where you signed it and answered a few questions?
No, sir. That one, by me changing dorms, I seem to lost the paperwork.
Okay, that's all right. We're going to put it up on the screen and let you take a look at it, okay?
Yeah, that's the one where I deferred.
Correct.
Yes, I understand it.
Okay, well, we're going to put it up on your screen, let you take a look at it, because for the record, I need to go over it with you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, there it is. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Now, is that your signature at the bottom left?
Yes, sir.
Dated May 4th of 2023?
Correct.
Are all of those answers still the same as they were when you wrote it that day?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about what we're doing today?
No, sir.
Are you ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to read the allegations against you. You can go back to that document that you were originally looking at, okay?
Okay.
Number 4, you engaged in criminal activity by committing domestic abuse battery, possession of drug paraphernalia, and contempt of court, and were arrested on January the 15th of 2022 by Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office. You pled nolo contendere to the amended charge of simple battery, docket number LFR 609642, count 1 and count 2, possession of drug paraphernalia, and on September the 15th of 2022, and ordered to pay a fine of $300 in court costs. You served 5 months in the parish jail. It was suspended. You were given 5 months in the parish jail. It was suspended. You were placed on 1 year unsupervised probation with special conditions to complete the battered the batterer's intervention program to run concurrently with each other. It's a lot of stuff there, okay? My question to you is, how do you plead to those charges?
Sir, on the domestic abuse battery, not guilty. There never was a battery took place.
Okay, well, let me make it a little simple for you. Okay, it's my understanding then is what you're saying is as to the original charges, you plead not guilty. Do you admit that you actually did in fact plead guilty to other charges?
Yes, sir. For the drug paraphernalia, you know, I had played guilty. And you know, I the simple battery, when it got dropped down, I was under the impression it would not violate my parole, and I was just trying to get it off behind
You'll
me.
have an opportunity to talk about that in just a few moments.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to put you down as not guilty and guilty with a statement.
Okay.
All right. The next allegation is you were then booked on a violation of a protective order on January the 19th of 2022. The state entered an all-pros in docket LFR 609644, violation of a protective order. How do you plead to that allegation?
Process, correct?
Yes.
So it was non-process.
The issue is, did you violate a protective order?
I went home to get clothes, so I would say
Guilty with a statement?
yes, sir.
All right. You again, and negation is you again engaged in criminal activity to committing a violation of a protective order and were arrested per warrant on August the 13th of 2022 by the Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office. The charge was declined for prosecution. No bill was filed in this matter. Question becomes, you again engaged in criminal activity by violating a protective order, and a warrant was issued on August the 13th of 2022. How do you plead to that charge?
Not guilty. I never went to jail that day, sir.
All right, well, we'll discuss all of those things. And number 8, you admitted to abusing methamphetamines, an illegal drug, and Suboxone without a prescription when arrested on April the 11th of 2023 to that charge.
Guilty, not guilty. Guilty for the matter.
Guilty to the amphetamines, and I believe in your statement you said you weren't using Suboxone. Is that right?
No, sir. I was not using Suboxone. I wanted to get back on my Supplicate, is what I said.
So you got guilty to the methamphetamines and not guilty to the Suboxone.
Yes, sir.
And finally, you failed to pay any monies towards your supervision fees while on parole supervision and are currently in arrears in the amount of $3,339. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
Your case has been assigned to Mr. Pete Freeman. Would you please answer any questions he may have?
Of course.
Okay, Mr. Fonseca, how long you been in jail?
Since April 11th, 2023.
So 2 months, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you were about to get off of supervision, weren't you?
Yes, sir.
I think you had a week left when they arrested you?
Yes, sir. Give or take.
Okay. Were you in the press and violated a protective order? Now, this is on more than one occasion, and we do have the arrest reports. I want to tell you that before you answer that question.
Okay.
So were you in her presence?
No, sir. She had left the house and I went home after to get clothes. I didn't know how a protective order worked. You know, I never had that before in my life. They told me to stay away from hiding. So when I know she left the house, I went.
An argument and a fight, and it wasn't physical, but it was an argument.
No, sir.
So you're trying to say the police report is false?
No, sir. I'm saying that when I went home and to get clothes after she left the property, I didn't know I couldn't just get clothes. I didn't know how it worked. When I left the jail, the day I left the jail, my bondman didn't even give me the court date. That's why I had to come him to court the next day, because I didn't even know I had to appear. I've never missed court in my life.
Okay, but this is your statement now. Mr. Fonseca denied criminal conduct. Mr. Fonseca admitted to a verbal altercation with his wife, but denied any physical contact.
The very initial night I got arrested, and which is January of 22. I'm saying the very first time I ever got arrested and they charged me with domestic abuse battery. I'm talking about that night. It was a verbal argument me and my wife was having over family issues, some silly, and they knocked at my door. They was next door picking up a dead animal, and they overheard us arguing, which is campus 15 feet apart. They overheard us arguing, came over, knocked at my door, and arrested me, detained me right away. And that night I'm talking about, it was a verbal argument.
But you were in her presence.
Yeah, but the protective order never existed at that point. From that point on, the protective order got put on. I'm talking about the very first time I
This
ever
is
was
on
arrested.
8/13/22.
No, sir, I was never arrested in August.
It doesn't matter if you were arrested. Were you in her presence?
No, sir. Oh, by that time, the protective order got dropped. It only lasted 6 months. It got dropped in June. Judge Chris Boudreaux dropped the protective order.
Okay, let's move on.
I've been finished with this for a whole year.
You're not finished until.
No, I meant, no, sir. No, sir. I meant with the charges, I was on the street and
Let me ask you this, did you complete that battered intervention program?
no, sir, the judge canceled the whole sentence.
No, I don't see anything in here where it says he canceled the whole sentence.
Yeah, well, my mama mailed the whole transcripts to y'all over like 2 weeks ago. My mama mailed all the transcripts that the judge said, that I said, everything to y'all.
Okay, you said you did use methamphetamine, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
I have a
why were
history
you
of
using
drugs.
methamphetamine?
Sir,
Why were you using them?
because I'm an addict, sir. I have a history of drug addiction.
And if you use methamphetamines, couldn't that lead back to you drinking?
Possibly.
Did you drink any while you were off?
No, sir. I haven't drank in 4 years. Over 4 years.
Okay, the daughter was made contact with by the sheriff and stated that you hit her mother.
It's the first I heard of that. I don't know. My daughter was 16. My daughter was 16 at the time, and
Okay, well, there's a text message that she sent saying that you had just hit her mother.
I think supposedly she sent it to her friend saying, I think my dad just hit my mom. She was behind closed doors. She just heard a verbal argument. You know, she was in her room of the camper that we lived in.
It also stated that your wife was scared to press charges on you because she was scared y'all would lose that camper because it was a FEMA trailer.
The camper is from Ida Relief, sir. It's under my name, which me and my wife has been married since 2005. She's present on the screen today. I mean, you're welcome to have a private meeting with her and ask anything. I mean, I don't.
No, I'm talking to you. Okay, let's see. Also, according to the ref report, you were angry because Heidi had let your daughter Madison go to a friend's house in Homer that you did not approve of. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sergeant Frazier observed bruises on the left side of Miss Fonseca's cheek near her eye. How did those bruises get there?
They're not bruises, sir. It's a skin condition. My wife uses Retin-A. Retin-A is prescribed by the doctor only, and you can only use it a few hours at a time. It burns. My wife, has a skin condition, sir.
Okay.
It's not bruises.
Says y'all were arguing because she was cooking some beignets for a neighbor. And that she did grab and you did throw a beignet at her, hitting her. Is that true?
No, sir. We was cooking beignets at the time, and I dumped the pan of beignets, but I never once threw a biscuit at her.
Okay, while conducting a search of your person, that's when they found the glass pipe?
Yes, sir. The bottom part of it was broken.
And you admit you were using methamphetamine? Correct?
Correct.
Okay, I have no further questions.
Now we'll hear from Miss Heidi Fonseca.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. If you will introduce yourself and tell us what it is you'd like us to know.
Heidi Fonseca. I'm Danny Fonseca's wife. On the 15th of January of 2022, the cops were called because of a dog issue. Practically, what he said. We was arguing. My daughter was present. She was in a room with the door closed. She didn't know what was going on. So she messaged her friend next door. Well, when the cops came, I explained to them, never got physical. They didn't believe me. And they even seen, I'm like, I do have a skin condition. I do. I get blotches like all over my face, especially when I use the Retin-A. Well, I told them nothing got physical. The only thing, he didn't throw no beignets like me, threw a beignet once they hit the wall or whatever, but nothing never got physical. It was all verbal. And I explained that to them. And it's practically, they did what they wanted to do. They didn't believe me, and they arrested him. And it's in the statement, it shows that nothing never got physical. So I still don't know why he was arrested for the domestic whenever. Then they go and they put a protective order. I never signed up for no protective order. They just it got put on him, I guess through them. But then again, nothing never got physical. I don't understand how that could happen. And when he did get out, I wasn't home. And ended up, I think, going to get some clothes or something. Then again, he got arrested for that. I wasn't home. Him and our son actually went to the camper to get some things. But I just don't think that he didn't do anything to, to even get the battery charge, because it was all verbal. And I don't know if you could see in the statement where it said, Ms. Fonseca said there was no physical contact. Well, why arrest him if there was no physical contact? So that's really all I gotta say. I just don't see him getting violated over something that he did not do, that didn't take place.
Thank you, Ms. Fonseca. Ms. Linda Dufresne?
Yes.
Ms. Dufresne, would you please introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know about your son? You're on mute, ma'am.
Can you hear me now?
Ma'am, we can. Yes, thank you.
Okay. I'm Linda Dufresne. I'm Danny's mother, and Heidi's mother-in-law. They lived with me for many I say the first 2 years, 3 years that he got out of prison, I've never seen neither one get into a physical or altercation. From the night he got arrested, his wife has always stated, she came to my house crying, saying she well told them it was a silly argument and it never got physical. I bonded him out, and no one told us he had to be in court the next day, or what was the condition, or that he was even on a protective order. Not the bondsman, not the, no one. He had never been on a protective order. We didn't know the conditions of it.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Dufresne. We appreciate your comments.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Fonseca, is there anything you'd like to say before the board votes?
No, sir, Your Honor. No, sir.
Thank you very much. Is the board ready to vote?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Okay, Mr. Fonseca, it's a total different story than what we're getting in the arrest report. You did plead to simple battery, nolo contendere, which is same as a guilty plea. You pled to possession of drug paraphernalia and admitted using methamphetamines, which really worries me, because that's the next step to starting to drink again. And with a fourth offense DWI, we're just lucky so far you haven't killed anyone. My vote today is to revoke.
Thank you, Mr. Roche.
Mr. Fonseca, you pled guilty to simple battery, which is a violent misdemeanor, which is a revocable offense. You pled guilty to using illegal drugs. Therefore, I'm going to revoke your supervision.
Mr. Fonseca, you have 2 votes to revoke your parole. I agree with my colleagues. Your parole has been revoked today. Good luck to you, sir.
Can I just ask one thing?
You may ask me anything. I'm not sure I can answer it, but I'll try.
Yeah, I was just, I guess, of course, being on parole, I get all my credit for time served or whatever.
That's up to the Department of Corrections to calculate all your time calculations. We don't do that here at the board.
Yes, I know. Okay, thank you. I appreciate.
You'll get everything you're entitled to under the law.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know what act I'm under, so.
Right.
Sir?
You'll get the 2 months credit from the time they detained you.
Correct. Yes, correct. Yeah. Thank
Good
you.
luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.